welcome to Oulton Park. We're Datoma Motorsport and we're here for the MG Trophy Championship. It's another glorious race weekend as we descend into the Cheshire countryside with a newfound optimism following our successful first outing of the year at Brands Hatch. Our optimism was curtailed, however, when we realised we had a big job on our hands before we could even get the car out on track. Between race weekends, Matt and Tom had done a full upgrade of the brake lines which would improve the durability and performance of the brakes. However, a small brake fluid leak had been discovered when loading up the trailer, which meant that before anything could be done on the Friday morning, the leak had to be found and fixed. The problem was soon found to be a slight gap between the connection of the new brake line and the brake master cylinder. A few ideas were floated around of how to fix it, which resulted in Joe filing down a washer for about an hour, but our sponsor, iTech Racing, came to the rescue and helped us solve the issue in time for us to get out on track before lunch. Once out on track, Matt started raking in the miles. In last year's 160 class, Matt managed the fastest lap in the 2 minute 8 seconds range. Only a few laps into the test session in the new 170 class car, and Matt had already wiped the floor with those times, consistently setting times around the 2 minute 5 mark. No issues with the brakes, or any other part of the car for that matter, but Matt wasn't satisfied. He knew he could get more out of the car. A slight camber change on the front wheels, followed by a magical wizard appearing from nowhere and suggesting we increase the rear ride height, saw the car feel more pointy and stronger around the flowing bends of Oulton Park. What's more, the stopwatch agreed with the changes, as Matt managed to knock around 2 seconds off his time. As this was an open test session, we were joined on track by some more interesting and exciting cars, including a Porsche GT3, a Lambo GT3, and whatever this Batmobile looking car was. It was quick though. Unfortunately, the last hour and a half of the session was a stop-start affair, with multiple red flags limiting the running. Not to worry though, as Matt and the rest of the team were ecstatic with how far the car had come in the space of a day. It's Saturday, it's race day, and we're here at Oulton Park for a glorious day. The sun is out, I've got the sunglasses on, and we're excited for the day ahead. We've got qualifying this morning, and later on we've got 2 races. We're hoping for some great results today. Matt has found such a confidence in the car through testing, and we're excited to see where he ends up in the race. So, let's get on to qualifying. A nice and early start to Saturday morning saw Matt compete in his second qualifying session of the year. Before the action got underway, a quick check of the car for scrutineering and Matt was able to get out on track. A huge shout out to our new sponsor, M4 Tyres, for supplying us with some new tyres to help us go a little bit quicker. With the sun cracking the flags, it didn't take long for Matt to get warmed up in the car and put in some seriously quick lap times. Since Brands Hatch, Class A had seen 3 more entries, meaning in theory, Matt should have been around the 13th place mark based off previous qualifying pace. However, he'd obviously had some energising breakfast, as he managed to qualify P11 with a 2:03.442, only 4/10ths off the car in front. Not only that, but he managed to out-qualify a driver from the quicker Class A category, and was also 1.7 seconds quicker than the car right behind him in 12th, while also managing to be 5th in class. As with all MG Trophy Championship events this year, there are 2 races a weekend, and the grid for the second race is made up of the driver's second fastest lap time. Matt's second fastest lap time was a 2:03.910, placing in 10th on the grid for race 2 and once again 5th in class. A fantastic showing from Matt, huge development from Brands Hatch. We'll see what he's got up his sleeve for the race. Following on from qualifying, our magical wizard friend returned, with a rather technical piece of equipment designed to calculate the toe in or out of the wheels. After seeing that the toe wasn't quite equal on both the front wheels, we adjusted the track rod ends so that both wheels were equal. Once that was done, it was time for Matt to get suited and booted, ready for the race. Matt got a slow start to race 1 after missing a gear which dropped him down a few places. Despite the poor start, he managed an overtake on the first corner and got a good run on the car in front on the way down to Cascades. In his attempt to overtake, Matt lost the back end of the car and spun out onto the grass. After a bouncy trip through the grass, Matt ended up dead last in 18th. This wasn't the end of his race, however, as Matt started his fight back. With a couple of other cars falling out of the race and a few on-track overtakes, Matt managed to gain 4 places and climb into 13th place, while also finishing 7th in class. Post-race weight checks complete, and Matt was ready to go again in race 2.
Working hard, alright? Promise.
Race 2 was a more quiet affair for Matt, however some setup changes made between races made the car come alive. A safety car midway through the race took away any rhythm Matt had found, yet coming on to the final lap, Matt managed to set his fastest lap of the race weekend, breaking into the 2:02s, showing how quick the car had become. A P9 finish overall and P5 in class saw the team pleased with the weekend, with a good haul of points despite the disappointing first race. So let's take a look at the championship standings. Tyler Ballard, Fergus Campbell and Graham Ross had the championship, with Tyler leading the Class B championship and Graham leading the Class A championship. Matt leaves Oulton in a strong 6th place overall and 4th in class, with only a 3-point deficit to the driver in front. Well, we've had a fantastic weekend here at Oulton Park. The first race didn't go exactly as planned, but we learned quite a lot. Second race, we gained a place. We were quicker than we'd ever been throughout the weekend. We've had a fantastic weekend. We've learned a lot. We've come a long way. And the only way is up. We will get to the top eventually. We will, won't we? What a drive from this guy.
It was alright, wasn't it? I was there or thereabouts. That's where we want to be. So, yeah.
Happy days. See you at Silverstone.